26 February 2017. At the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood, it is Oscar night. Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty walk onto the stage to announce the Academy Award for the Best Picture. And a wrong movie name is announced, but it is not the fault of either of them. So what happened? There are two very powerful lessons we can learn from that incident. Today's story is about the first lesson, and next week I'll tell you about the second. Hi, welcome back to Stories at Work, a series where I share real stories from across the world that you can use when you want to drive home a business point. On our website, www.storyworks.in, we already have over 100 stories, and we are adding one every week. Let's start today's story. It is 26 February 2017. At the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood, it is Oscar night. Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty walk onto the stage to announce the Oscar for Best Movie at the 89th Academy Award. All Warren Beatty needs to do is open a red envelope, take out a card, and read out the title of the film that won the Academy Award for Best Picture that year. Not very difficult, right? But it can be nerve-wracking even for seasoned professionals when the who's who of Hollywood is staring back at you in eager anticipation, and the event is being watched by that year over 33 million people worldwide. Now Beatty opens the envelope. So far, so good. Then he looks at the card in his hand and he hesitates. He then looks inside the envelope, again as though checking if there's some cover note, and he says,
"And the Academy Award."
But Beatty pauses again. He looks at the card again. He starts speaking,
"For Best Picture."
And he stops again. He shows her the card and she doesn't hesitate.
La La Land.
The audience erupts in applause, and the producers of La La Land take to the stage to get one more Oscar that night. Meanwhile, off in the wings, an accountant from PricewaterhouseCoopers named Brian Cullinan knows that the biggest screw-up in the history of Academy Awards is in full flow. The 2017 winner of Best Picture isn't La La Land, it's Moonlight. Now, the simple way of telling this story of this fiasco is that as Warren Beatty walked on stage, Brian Cullinan's job was to hand over to him the envelope for Best Picture. Instead, Cullinan handed over the envelope for Best Actress. A moment earlier, that award had been won by Emma Stone for her performance in La La Land. And so when Beatty opens the envelope and sees Emma Stone, La La Land, he's a little confused as to why the actress's name was on the card. But his job was to just announce what he saw. But that's the simple version of the story and doesn't do justice to what really happened. And it doesn't have the two key lessons that the story really teaches us. It wasn't Warren Beatty's fault. He didn't understand what he was looking at. And rather than say something wrong, he hesitated. He then turns to Faye Dunaway. She was the person who actually uttered the title of the wrong film. But it wasn't her fault either. Imagine her situation. She's on stage with, in front of the most star-studded audience imaginable, plus tens of millions of people watching worldwide on television. Beatty seems to be messing around, and she doesn't know why. The name of the movie that she sees on the card is La La Land, and straight away, that's what she says. Now, some people blame Beatty, some people blame Dunaway. Most people blame Brian Cullinan, the accountant who handed over the wrong envelope. But I think we are all making a mistake. The mistake is that something we often make is to quickly find someone to blame. Our instinct is to blame the accountant Brian Cullinan. After all, he did give Beatty the wrong envelope, and he was distracted. He had just tweeted a photograph of Emma Stone holding the Oscar statuette at a time when he should have been focusing on giving Beatty the right envelope. He was on his phone enjoying the access he had to the world stage. While it is true that he should have been focusing on the job and not on the phone, the wrong announcement could have been avoided if two other mistakes hadn't happened. Not the human mistake that he made. In this episode, we'll talk about the first. Bad typography. I know you must be thinking, what is this? Yes, bad typography. I know it sounds strange, but it is true. The card that Beatty took out of the envelope had 9 words on it. The largest word is Oscars. Really? Is that really the most important piece of information? Are we worried that without it, Warren Beatty is going to think he's giving away awards to school children in a drawing competition? Now, the words La La Land and Emma Stone are printed with equal weight, even though the winner for that card, the Best Actress, is Emma Stone. The rest, La La Land, is just a detail. Meanwhile, the most important words, Best Actress, are tucked away at the bottom in fine print. Now, if the word Best Actress had been prominent, Warren Beatty would not have been confused. He would have known that he had the wrong card in his hand. And if Emma Stone had been in a larger type than La La Land, Faye Dunaway wouldn't have blurted out the name of the wrong film. It would have been awkward for Beatty and Dunaway to walk off stage to get the right envelope, but not nearly as awkward as not walking on stage to get the right envelope. Now, if the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences had hired a designer, that embarrassing error would not have happened. What a story. Where in business can you use this story? Well, this is a powerful story to demonstrate the importance of design, and a story about not doing things mindlessly. This is also a great story about designing products based on the person who will be using the product. It is about customer-centric design. I don't think they had in mind when they designed it that someone would need to read it. It was just, let's make a nice design. Now let me give you another example. I have spoken to umpteen event organizers about the identity cards that attendees are given when they come to an industry conference. Now everyone knows that most people go to industry conferences primarily for networking. Now think about the various ID cards you must have hung around your neck. What has the largest font? The name of the conference. Again, are we going to forget that we came to a conference and not to a farm fair? Or are we going to make a mistake as to which conference we are attending? What we really need to know is which company is the person from and what is his or her name. Both of these have the smallest fonts. And of course, the logo of the sponsor is again big. Now, the first lesson from this story is the importance of design, importance of typography. The second lesson from the same incident is the subject of the story next week. Now, if you like this story, you could find many, many more on our website, www.storyworks.in. These stories are searchable using the business point you want to make. For example, if you key in design thinking, font, typography, Oscar, you will find the story. So when you're looking for a story, go to our website and search for your keyword. The website and our YouTube channel has 2 playlists. The Story Bank playlist, which already has 71 stories, contains stories like this, real incidences that you can share to drive home a business point or inspire people to take action. The other playlist is called Leaders Speak. This has videos where leaders have shared stories that have created opinions they have. If you're sharing the same opinion with your team or driving home a similar message, you could use that story. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Bye for now.